So the fallout from the ban or the sudden ban on Mustafizur Rahman that was put in place by the BCCI, wherein they basically told Kolkata Knight Riders to release the player back into the auction pool, and they would be allowed to sign a replacement due to the kind of protests that were taking place in India over the fact that a Bangladesh player was being allowed to play in the IPL given strained relations between India and Bangladesh. The fallout of that continues, and the latest update that we are now getting to know, and this is a breaking news update for you guys, that the Bangladesh government has now stepped in and issued a very major notice. What is that notice? They've ordered that the telecast of all IPL games is banned indefinitely in the country of Bangladesh. So the, as I said, the steps of it continue in terms of the escalation in this particular thing. You'd remember that when the news broke, or after the news broke, that KKR were basically told by the BCCI to release Mustafizur Rahman and to sign a replacement player, they'd be given that provision. The Bangladesh response was very swift, and they were not happy about it. And thereafter, they've also pretty much demanded that we will not be traveling to India to play our T20 World Cup games. You can reschedule our games and keep them in another country. They've cited, for instance, the whole hybrid model thing, wherein India don't travel to Pakistan and Pakistan don't travel to India, and they'll play their games in neutral venues. So that's what they've cited, and now this is another step that has come in, wherein they've said very clearly that look, if you are banning a player of ours, and Mustafizur, by the way, is one of their most recognizable names in cricket right now, senior pro statesman of sorts in that team. If you're going to do that, then we aren't going to telecast IPL games. So what we're getting to know is that IPL games will now indefinitely not be telecast on in Bangladesh TV. So that is the major update. What they've done is that they've banned the telecast, and the time period which has been noted is an indefinite one. Now, it might seem like, again, for a lot of people, for a lot of you guys who are basically sports fans, and you're watching sport as some sort of release for or from your everyday life sort of a thing, then this might seem like literally a case of cricket and politics, or sport and politics mixing. But the truth is that when it comes to the subcontinent, sport and politics has been intertwined for quite a while. We've always known that the BCCI does work, at least in recent times, also has worked very closely in conjunction with the central government for everything, really. Because again, it is why it is that you've never toured, or you've stopped touring Pakistan. You don't do any bilateral series with them. That comes about due to political tensions. The fact that you've chosen now not to even travel for ICC games was an escalation of said tension, which you have done not only in the case of the 2023 Asia Cup, which you played in the hybrid model, but also the 2025 Champions League, which was once again also played in the hybrid model. So that has been the case, and now this is very much just an escalation or a natural manner in which things are just going about, whereby if any two teams tend to have these problems which are political in nature, and if they start playing out in the cricketing field like they did in the case of Mustafizur, then you're going to see this sort of an escalation. There is a precedent now which has been set, whereby if countries have political tensions, then you're going to be choosing not to play games in that country. That's the precedent that has been set. And now the Bangladesh Cricket Board have not only said that we want a hybrid model, and mind you, the games can be actually shifted to Sri Lanka, who are technically a co-host of this World Cup. Don't forget that Colombo is also hosting games, so it's not a case of India hosting the World Cup alone. They can very well say that no, move our matches to Sri Lanka. We don't want to tour it here. And the line that they are using, and this is by the way what I am reporting and telling you for a fact, is that the line that is being said is that if you can't guarantee one player of our security, if you're saying that the security reasons are the reason we're not allowing Mustafizur to play in the IPL this year, then how can you guarantee our team security? What's the guarantee? What is the guarantee that you can give our team security? One player can't be given safety. How are you going to give a team security? That is the line that is being used by the Bangladesh higher authorities, because again, this has ended up escalating and becoming more of a political issue than it is a sporting issue. From the sporting side of things, let's be very clear, there never was that much of a problem, at least prior to the IPL auction. Why do I say that? Because Mustafizur wasn't the only Bangladeshi player who was in the IPL auction. There were a number of them. There were a number of Bangladesh players. It's just that no one else got picked. Unfortunately, Mustafizur is the only player that was picked, ended up becoming a major target, or a soft target, and a political target at that. So it ended up becoming a bit of an issue. And due to that political pressure, KKR were told, no, release Mustafiz, you can sign another player as a replacement, to which I say, okay, fair enough. But I always also was wondering what exactly would be the case if matters escalate, and now we're getting to know. Bangladesh have said we won't play our cricket games in India, and they're also going to say that no, we won't broadcast the IPL. The IPL has been banned indefinitely as far as broadcasting is concerned when it comes to the region of Bangladesh. So that's the major decision that they have taken. I do agree with, in fact, let's take some comments and I'll go through some of them. You've got Freaking Awesome saying that this is pure politics from both sides, and I agree. This has nothing to do with the sporting side of things. This is not anything about sport. This is literally a case of politics getting very, very intertwined. And in fact, as Rohit R says, that who cares, most of the broadcast money comes from our own. You're right. This is not something that is going to impact India in any way. Let's be very clear. From a financial perspective, it won't make any difference. The broadcast money which IPL generates, the majority of it, as you correctly point out, comes domestically. So this is not going to be that sort of a thing. This is more of a political thing whereby the bigwigs in the Bangladeshi government are actually showing that, look, we're taking a stand. If they don't let our player play, then we'll also not broadcast their league in Bangladesh. That's the stance. It's a bit of a petty move, if I'm being honest with you. But then again, I think they should, in fact. This can be said for both kind of things as well. It can be said that even banning Mustafiz has nothing to do with what is going on politically in Bangladesh. He doesn't. He's just a cricketer. If you had that much of a problem, it should have ideally been dealt with, in my opinion, beforehand. Where just like you've not included Pakistan players in the IPL since 2008 onwards, 8 was the one and only time that they were played. In that sense, I don't think it would have been that much of an issue if you would have made it clear beforehand. But this is a case where everything is kind of on the fly, and so this is then going to lead to such consequences. It will, in fact, lead to such consequences because, truth be told, it's an escalation that has in fact begun, and it'll be very interesting. I really want to know. You guys can also let me know in the comments what will happen to that India tour of Bangladesh, the white ball tour, which was supposed to happen in 2025 but got deferred by a year. Is that also going to be called off now? Because again, I don't think I think if you're talking about bilateral cricketing relations, there's not been that much of a problem. But the simple fact of the matter is that now it's involving governments and politics, so it could very well be that Bangladesh will say that no, don't allow India to tour, or we don't want India to tour. Never mind about the money, we can generate money some other way. Could very well be. We never really know. But there's a lot of you guys who are joining us right now, so let me quickly go over what the breaking news is before we call it quits on this particular live stream. A lot of you guys are joining. An official notice has been put out by the government of Bangladesh, which has actually said that the broadcast of the IPL in Bangladesh has now been banned. It has, in fact, it will not be taking place. It will not be taking place or the broadcast will not be taking place in Bangladesh. There will be no IPL games shown live in the country of Bangladesh anyway. Obviously, they would have had a broadcast deal prior, but now what it is that you don't, in fact, have a broadcast deal there, which I don't think, again, financially makes no difference to the BCCI, because as one of our commenters was pointing out, it is in fact now very much a case of you generate 90% of the money which is there, or in fact more than that, I'd say, is generated domestically. But this has now become a political issue. It is in fact no longer about sports. It is something that has gotten politicians involved, and it is something that will continue to escalate, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong, and I really hope I am, but let's just see how it goes. So that's the breaking news update for you guys. Thank you so very much for joining us on this update. And once again, as I said, it's more of a political story than it is a sporting story, but unfortunately it is politics playing out in the manner or in the way of sports, using sporting decisions, sporting bodies, sporting leagues. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, and that is the escalation that has come about. Bangladesh has now said no IPL to be telecast indefinitely. So that's the update. Thank you guys again for joining us on this live stream. A lot of you shared your thoughts, appreciative of that, and appreciative of the fact that all of you are sharing your opinions. Don't forget, as always, to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and of course tap that bell icon so you know when it is we're going live or issuing a new or uploading a new video for you guys. Don't also forget to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned to Sports Today for more such video updates from the world of sport. For now, from my side, it is goodbye.